10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1,
Manchester United have
0.
reached the promised land.
Good morning, everybody. Sam here, live on United People's TV. It's Wednesday. It's the morning after the night before. It's the morning after the Burnley game. Now we've got to speak about United going and throwing away another 2 points. United going and playing another game where we're up against a really, really bad. No offense to Middlesbrough or Burnley, but we're in a game where Manchester United should be winning comfortably. Now you saw my match reaction last night. I always do those. You always watch them. You always leave your comments. But this is as I said, the morning after, the therapy room that we have to call it now, because you need therapy after watching Manchester United. Gee, again, we've gone and done the same thing again. What I'm going to be doing in this video here, as you can see from the title, look, the broken Manchester United team and the same repeating patterns. I'm here to be your therapist. If Sasha Lensei is the psychologist for the players, I can be the psychologist for the fans. My word, we need one. And I'll tell you what, those players need one as well. There is a broken mentality inside this club, which is, it's been ripping the club from the out. It's been ripping the club apart from the inside for a long time. And again, it happened last night. I'm going to speak about our results. I'm going to be taking a look at patterns that we can see, and we're going to have a conversation about that. I'm going to take a look at the first half against Burnley, compare it to the second half. What changed between the two? Going to be taking a look at that, taking a look at the Premier League table as well. Also going to be taking a look at the positives from the game last night. I don't think the performance of Jadon Sancho should be ignored. We're going to be speaking about that. Paul Pogba, I think, has been excellent since he came back. And Luke Shaw goes to show he's our number one left back. He did that last night. We're also going to speak about Ralf Rangnick's comments on the game. And you're damn right we're going to be having a conversation about Harry Maguire. And spoiler alert, I'm going to be doing a separate video on Harry Maguire coming out at lunchtime titled "We Need to Talk About Harry Maguire," because you're damn right we need to talk about Harry Maguire. Who's all down here in the comments this morning, this afternoon, this evening, wherever you're watching from? Troy Wilson, good afternoon, wherever you're watching from, mate. Groundhog Day indeed. There was a comment there that caught my eye just before we started going live. I wanted to give it a shout out. It says Damo saying, appreciate content, can't afford to be a member, mate. Anybody here on the channel, I'm not. You support the channel however you want to support the channel. If that's you coming on every day, dropping a like on the video as a subscriber and sending in your comments, that's great. If you want to become a member, I'd love to have you on board. But look, good morning to all of you. Carl Baldwin on Facebook. We've got Manoil. We've got Gungshi. Nice to see you this morning. We've got hi from Bernie, Jackie, Anne, and Daniel. Look at that. Oh, an absolute proper party. It wasn't a party last night watching United, was it? Famous last words. I said it before the game. I said, you know what? I've just got a good feeling about United tonight. I just had a good feeling about us. Lo and behold, that happened. Of course, I think you could argue if you really wanted to about the first goal that was ruled out. Okay, you really could have that argument if you wanted to, but I kind of think it's a little bit of a moot point. The second one, though, outrageous, absolutely outrageous that Manchester United got that goal disallowed. Paul Pogba just there competing for the ball, mate. That's what Burnley have built their Premier League status on. Hell, they would have got relegated 5 seasons ago if those sort of fouls are getting called for. Ridiculous. Obviously, Paul Pogba got the goal. Manchester United had the ball back in the back of the net 3 times. So technically, it wasn't our finishing that kind of went against us in that first half. It was a bit different, I suppose. But ultimately, it's the same result. Oh, how you doing here, buddy? Nice to see you here. How was work? As always. One reason why he's furious is Ralf Rangnick. He didn't pick up the phone. Keep up the quality content, my friend. Yeah, cheers. All. You haven't been here. Well, no, you have been here for a while, but you've gone into the background. You must be a busy man with work. And to be fair, you've got 4 kids as well, so I don't blame you for that whatsoever. Gary, you're saying just can't kill teams off. So frustrating, Sam. Mate, Gary, you're not the only. Frustrating is probably the biggest and best word you can use to sum up Manchester United right now, because it completely encapsulates what it is. It's just so damn frustrating. And because I'm not coming here this morning and saying United are playing crap football, because the fact of the matter is we are not. Again, that first half against Burnley, mate, look at us. Look at us fly. Look at us flying, playing really direct. Tell you what, watching United really burst. Whenever we won the ball in sort of like just inside our own half, you saw Sancho, Rashford and Cavani all sweeping forward like the Mighty Ducks. And it was kind of cool to watch. And we were clinical enough. We had the ball in the back of the net 3 times, but still that mentality that's basically haunting us at the moment, it came to fruition again. And I'll tell you what, right? This is not a reaction off the back of this game against Middlesbrough. This is not a reaction off the back of that game there last night against Burnley. Let's rewind here and let's quickly run through and remember what's happened before. Okay, so we go back to the Crystal Palace game. Brilliant in the first half, weren't we? First 45 minutes there. And then we massively backed off, and it was lovely for Fred to pop up with a wonderful goal to save us. 11 changes against Young Boys, kind of irrelevant. Norwich away. And these are all the games under Ralf Rangnick, by the way, starting with his first one on the 5th of December. Norwich away, we were pretty poor for the majority of it. A late Ronaldo goal saved us there. Newcastle, it took until the 71st minute for Cavani to get a goal there. United were weak against Newcastle, really weak, and fortunate to come away with a draw. Burnley, remember we beat that Burnley side 3-1 at Old Trafford on the 30th of December, and we didn't even look that good, right? We didn't look that good. And then here we go. Wolves at home on the 3rd of January. 2022 got kickstarted into a beautiful, beautiful way. And I tell you what, the patterns have massively repeated themselves, as I said. Now, that 1-0 win against Aston Villa kind of papered over the cracks a little bit. Villa had so many opportunities in that game. And then, of course, here we go. 2-0 up against Aston Villa, away from home with 20 minutes to go. What happens? Manchester United somehow draw that game 2-2. First half against Brentford, absolutely abysmal. Complete opposite to what we did there last night. First half horrendous, second half blitzed them. 1-3-1. You're thinking, okay, good. West Ham, the only game inside this, all of these games really, where you can go, wow, Manchester United controlled and dominated the game. And then you've got Middlesbrough, and then you've got Burnley. So what I'm saying here is there is a real continuation of repeated patterns that have been coming and consistently been there for a long time. So my question to you in the comments this morning here, ladies and gents, is how do you fix that? Seriously, how do you fix it? Is it so embedded inside this entire squad that it's just going to take that long to get rid of it? Is it something that the manager can do in Ralf Rangnick? Is it a conversation that he can have? I don't know what it is. But if you look at how Manchester United played in that first half yesterday against Burnley, against the team rock bottom of the Premier League, and compared it to how we played in that second half, it's just like, almost looks like we're match fixing. It is insane how big our drop off is. And for me, it must be a case of Manchester United players came in at halftime. It didn't really matter what Ralf Rangnick was saying. They were all thinking, game's in the bag, man. Game's done. I know it's 1-0, but look, man, we scored 3. We scored 3 in that first half. Yeah, we're good. We're absolutely fine. As long as we continue what we're doing in that first half, we'll be sweet. Whereas the reality, geez, sorry about that. Looks like the what's going on there? Can I turn that brightness down there? That's better. The sun has just out of nowhere started creeping in through the window. I apologize about that. Now it looks nice and white. But yeah, the players definitely went in at halftime and thought, game, set, and match. I know it's 1-0, but yeah, we're sweet. We're fine. No problems. Obviously, Burnley are going to come out more aggressive in that second half. And United's players, it's almost like they didn't expect it. It's like, are you dumb? Of course, Burnley are in a relegation battle. They're at home, and it's wet and windy on a Tuesday night at Burnley. Of course, they're going to come out firing, but United's players almost didn't expect it, and didn't plan for it, which as a mentality issue is staggering. Anthony with Donut FC, my friend, with the bite out of it where Maguire is. I'm going to be speaking about Maguire. As I said, I'm not going to go too in depth on Maguire here because I kind of want to reserve a little bit of my opinion for the video I want to do next. But I said it last night. I think I'm switched on Maguire now. I've switched. The sun is so rebellious, says Don. Yeah, it is rebellious. Let me go down here, read a few more of your comments. Sanjay saying, Sam, we need to sell Maguire, period. Or Harry Maguire morphed into Harry Houdini and disappears once again. Was he ever there? That's the question. Carl, I'll definitely disagree with this comment. Not completely. Dalot was shot yesterday. His crossing was dreadful. It's poor to say that as an overall generalization. First half, Dalot created 2 clear-cut chances for Manchester United by winning the second ball back high up the pitch near Burnley's box. Played pretty well, I think. Crossing-wise, he's Jekyll and Hyde. Crossing-wise inside this entire team. Probably Shaw's our best crosser, you would argue. Maybe Tellez you could probably throw into that conversation. Dalot didn't play terribly yesterday, but his crossing, when we needed it to, at those crucial moments towards the end of the game, it eluded him. A bit like Ronaldo's heading on target eluded him as well. But don't let that just sort of make you ignore the good stuff that Dalot did earlier in that game. How do you not know how to make a slide tackle, says Klein? I have no idea. I can't slide tackle. Too cold for them, says Paul. Just shows the mentality of a second-rate team. Yeah, if it was lovely, that's 20 degrees, bit of sunshine, maybe we'd play a little bit better. But look, man, look at this first half here. What I'm going to do here, as I said, I did my match reaction last night, and I'm sure you can go over there if you want to see how really angry I was at the game, because there's no point me just repeating that this morning. What I want to try and always do is always try and take the conversation forward, always get the talking points that I didn't really go in depth on last night and speak about them in a bit more depth this morning. Otherwise, you're just going to watch the same video twice, and that's a bit pointless. Let's go down here. Good morning to you, Paul Bridget, as always. Vanessa saying, hi, Sam. How on earth is Harry Maguire our captain? Look, you're not the only one that's going to be thinking this, and trust me, today is going to be all about Harry Maguire. Make sure you check out the video I'm doing next. I'm going to record it as soon as this live stream is finished. Eken, you're saying it feels like we don't have a centre forward. Well, we did. Look, right, Harry, you want to speak about Cristiano Ronaldo and how poor he's been in the last few games. Edinson Cavani yesterday, I thought his movement was okay. Yeah, cool. His hair is wonderful. But that miss from like 2 yards, it's like we had Bruno Fernandes against Middlesbrough, and then we had Cavani missing a header from 2 yards. You put your house on that. Nick Pope, good save. Yeah, cool. But come on, Cavani. You know the keeper's going to come do a big schmeichel and spread himself. Just head it into the ground. Use your noggin. Well, he did use his noggin, but he just didn't. Just another game where Manchester United. Look. Let me show you this. Right, this is the comparison here. This is an important one. So this is Manchester United in the first half there against Burnley. 63% possession, 12 shots. I'll tell you one thing that we're doing quite a lot now. Look at this. It's the block shots. I think Marcus Rashford, again, we saw it yesterday. Marcus Rashford has always been a shoot on sight striker. And he was yesterday. He was basically always touch it into space, put his foot through it as hard as possible, and hope that it goes left or right of the goalkeeper. But pretty much every single one went straight to the goalkeeper. And if they didn't go to the goalkeeper, it got blocked. But Manchester United in the first half there, yeah, 63% possession, 12 shots, 5 on target, 2 off target, 5 blocked, 1 big chance, another big chance missed. Totally dominant in that first half. Blue galore. Then we go to the second half. And Manchester United, that's the killer stat right there. Manchester United in that second half there against Burnley did not have a shot on target. We had 10 shots, 7 of which were blocked, 3 which were off target. We had 7 corners and not 1 shot on target. Manchester United were second to the second ball every time. Manchester United took a yard off our game whilst Burnley put 2 yards on that game. And it comes down to application. It comes down to attitude, approach, and the mental side of the game, man. It's sport. It's sport when you break it down. It's a really simple thing, man. 90-minute game, or football anyway, 90-minute game, you've got to score more than them. Easy. But when it comes to the nuances of how watching United play and the repetition of this weakness, this weak underbelly, this soft underbelly, someone can just come and give us a quick 1-2, boom, and we're down and we're winded. And we can't seem to get back up. If it's not the first half, no, sorry, if it's not the first half that we're terrible in, it's the second half. Or if it's not the second half, it's the first half. And that's why that West Ham game stood out, eh? That's why this West Ham game stood out. The 1-0 against West Ham was a game where everybody, I don't think there was really anybody inside that team that put in like a 9 out of 10 performance against West Ham. But everybody put in a 7 out of 10. Everybody put in a 7 out of 10 performance against West Ham. We got a 1-0 win, comfortable in control for the majority of the game. There last night against Burnley, I would probably say Sancho put in towards like an 8.5, 9 out of 10 performance, probably an 8.5. And then there's Maguire, who drops like an absolute stinker of like a 2 out of 10. And when you do that, it's going to be individual mistakes, individual errors. It won't be a team collective performance. And United just won't win the game. It's disgusting. Buto, you're saying absolutely disgusting. These players, this lot of players, such a disgrace. And look, when you're seeing that bloke there, that bloke there, there he is. You got Patrice there, you got Nemanja there, you got Cantona there. When it comes to comparisons, Manchester United fans, let's be honest, we've been goddamn spoiled by who we've seen in the Premier League playing for our club. And that's when you're watching these players and you're going, really? Really? Again? Really? Mo, you're saying the performance has improved. It will take time, unlike Ollie. Of course it will take time. Everything takes time. But our performances have improved significantly. From the Brentford game onwards, second 45 against Brentford, whole 90 against West Ham, first 60, 80 against Middlesbrough. First 60 against Middlesbrough, and the first half there against Burnley. Mate, we were playing some properly wonderful football. Genuinely, really enjoyable to watch. Direct, great football. But it's almost like, I mean, I'm not sure if anybody's mentioned this before, but I've no idea. It's almost like we don't have a midfielder there who's really confident and comfortable enough to just knock it around the middle, to just say, just keep giving it back to me. Just keep, doesn't matter, just go around in circles, just keep giving it back to me. I'll keep recycling possession. Keep it going here. It's why United have to move so quickly through the transitions. It's why we have to move so quickly from defence to attack. Bruno Fernandes and Paul Pogba are both wonderful footballers. But are they the footballers that are going to just hold possession? No, they're not. They're going to be the footballers that are taking it forward quickly, that are getting at the opposition, that are going to cause the problems and going to cause the dangers. And both of them do that. But we don't have that midfielder because McTominay yesterday, I thought he did okay again in that side, that number 6 role. Is he a complete number 6? No. Will he ever be a complete number 6? No. Is he the best compromise we have at the moment? Yes. And that's why he'll continue to start there. But we'd need like a Matic of 6 years ago, someone who you can just rely on to pass the ball to move it from side to side, to take the sting out of the game. We couldn't take the sting out of Burnley last night. As soon as they got their tails up, we just couldn't do anything. Loads of comments here coming in from members. Let me read a few of these out. Gary, how you doing, buddy? Anyone know what our set piece coach is doing? I'll tell you what, he's banging his head against a brick wall after finally scoring a set piece. Wonderful delivery from Bruno and a hell of a header from Rafael Varane. And then we still can't get a goal because it was disallowed. I think rightly or wrongly, look, Maguire was literally pushed into an offside position by, I believe it was Rodriguez before. No, it was 14. Don't know who 14 was. But he was pushed into an offside position before the free kick was taken. And then he sort of came back. And yes, he did block it. A bit like when Aston Villa against us, I think it was, at Old Trafford for Danny Ings, I believe. So we can't be too disheartened about that. But yeah, he's pushed into an offside position first. Nick, you're saying, I actually rate the job Ole did more and more when I see this group of players struggle. And it goes to show that this group of players required coddling. They required 2 arms around the shoulders. They required a hot chocolate and a foot spa. They required smothering. Almost like a motherly touch is what these players enjoyed. They wanted to go back into the womb. That was their warm zone. That was their happy zone. That's almost like that's where they're comfortable. And that's why it worked with Solskjaer. And I tell you what, if the habit that we had under Solskjaer, which was so incredibly impressive, that we always had, was our ability to never sort of let a game be out of our reach. No matter how poorly we were playing, the amount of times we had late goals under Solskjaer was outrageously good. But now that Solskjaer's gone and it's a different manager that's coming in, and we're seeing this here. At what point does it change? That's what, honestly, please let me know in the comments below, right? I want your opinions here. At what point does this change? I've always been of the mindset that the penny will drop. At some point, the penny will drop. And I think the penny has dropped. I think the performances, the football we're playing, the formation we're playing, the starting 11 we have, the penny's dropped. And I think we're good in that sense. I don't imagine there's going to be a necessity for any substantially huge tactical or formation changes between now and the end of the season. So that sort of conversation's a little bit mute. But now, when does a penny drop with this mental approach? Is it possible when you've got Harry Maguire in the team? Is it possible when you've got other players in the team who are underperforming? Or is it just going to be like an internal virus what's the antibiotic to it? Seriously. You need to let me know in the comments here, because I'm I'm struggling now. I'm struggling. And you can, if you want to, right? I don't know why you want to. You can start blaming Ralf Rangnick if you really want. I think his biggest task was getting this United team playing good football. And in my opinion, he has been successful in that. Over the 10, 13 games, incrementally, we've improved and improved and improved. Yet we're still not getting the results. Now, that comes down to the players. But how do you change that? Or what you're saying here, the changing point will be when we strain a couple of good games together and the players once again believe in themselves. Football, as we all know, is a game that's, I mean, of course, it's based on talent, but it's largely built on confidence. If you're a confident player who's untalented, like Phil Neville, you can make a career out of being untalented, basically, as long as you've got the confidence to believe in yourself and make the most of what you have. United have never been a sort of some of their parts, have they? Not with the players that we've got, not with the money we spent. Josh, you're saying, I agree the penny has dropped, Sam, but so is the passion. There lies your problem. Maguire cupping his ears again, says Alif. But look, yeah, the passion. You want to talk about passion? You want to talk? I don't know what you want to talk about, but it's just. Look, I don't know. Actually, no, I do know what to expect against Southampton at the weekend. And remember the last time we played Southampton at Old Trafford? Do you remember what the score was? 9-0. 9-0. Let's see what happens in this game on Saturday. Manoyle saying, could be the players are not 100% into Ralf as they know the manager will be for a few months of that. I mean, it might be that, but piss off. Not you, Manoyle, by the way. But the players are just piss off. I don't want to give these players any more excuses at all. I think the players have been really fairly treated by United fans for a long, long time. Really fairly treated. We've always sort of looked elsewhere, I think. It's the natural thing is to look at the manager or to look at the tactics or to look at the formation or to look at anything and sort of focus on that rather than focus on the individuals. But this is now just coming down to these guys, these professionals, not doing their professional job properly. Is it a preparation thing? Is it a mentality thing? Whatever the fuck it is, sort it out. It's your job to sort yourself out so that you're in the right position at the right time. At half time there, is that down to Ralf Rangnick's? Is that down to Ralph's lack of a halftime speech? Is what I mean. You're going to start making weird assumptions. You're going to start making weird guesses. But that's all we got to do. I'll tell you what. Tell you who's going to have a busy day today, and that's Sasha Lense. Sasha Lense was brought in by Ralf Rangnick as a sports psychologist. It's almost like Ralf saw this weakness before he came into the club. And Ralf is an honest man. As I said, look, I spoke to Guido yesterday. You saw that interview, and it was a superb interview with him. It's really such an honest interview with a man who really does know Ralf far more than any journalist inside the UK ever will. And yeah, he all he does is describe him as an extremely honest individual. He worked with him for 10 years when he was at Leipzig. He knows him. He's like, he doesn't lie. He has no reason to lie. He never lied to me once in 10 years. So who am I going to believe? Jesse Lingard and Martial? As I said, I don't think all that's down to lying. I think that's down to miscommunication. But I don't think Ralph's too soft, Missy. I definitely would not say Ralf does not strike me as a soft individual and a soft manager. He might have a different approach. That's what I said. He's the balance between Mourinho and Solskjaer. The door that's always open if you want to go and knock on it, like Solskjaer's, but also the man who's respected and built a career over 20, 30 years. He's got the best of both parts, I think, anyway. Matt, you're saying, does Ralf now strip Maguire of the captain's armband? As I said, Matt, I'll go into Maguire's coming up in this video, right, ladies and gents. So don't worry, we can have a proper Maguire chat. And as I said, I'm doing a video next on Maguire. And I'm going to be really going in on my opinion on that one. Ralf is there like the father figure. Call Ralf what you want. Ralph's the manager. No, they are the players. They need to perform, man. And they are performing. They're capable of it. And I think I'll tell you what it is, right? The thing that's pissing us off the most, and the thing that's pissed me off the most, so much really, when you look at United for the last few years, is there's constant flashes. Maybe not constant flashes, but there's so many flashes like that. That first half there against Burnley, the first 45, 50, 60 against Middlesbrough, you're watching it going, ooh, that's United. There it is. There it is. Where's it go? Woof. Gets swept away before the end of the game. In the same game, you can get two completely and utterly different teams. And that's the core of the frustration of United fans. It's not anger anymore, because as we can see, the football is there, the quality is there. But why isn't it there for the full 90? What needs to change? Shitback, what are you saying here, sir? The players have no reason to change if they are bypassing Ralf and taking the Murtos, talking with the Murtos. Sounds like a TV show, talking with the Murtos. Sounds terrible. The management thinks performance is secondary. Ergo. No. Performance is technically always secondary to results. We know it's a results-driven business. But United are getting the performances without the results right now. It's ironic, really. Absolutely ironic, really. We haven't scored from a corner in over a year now. The last time we scored from a corner, Odion Nagalo was still a Manchester United player. That stat blew my mind, and it's hilarious, really, if you're not a United fan anyway. Surendran, I have nothing but respect for Ralf. This club's boards and players will destroy any manager. The culture is turned so toxic. I mean, the fan, but not. I'm not saying you. I'm not saying all of our fans, but there's definitely just a toxicity amongst the fan base. There's a toxicity as part of the modern day football culture. There is a new element of toxicity that exists that didn't exist before. It's the access to fans to abuse a player. It's the player's ability to see that abuse and sort of take that abuse on board, rather than just being a player and having to listen to away fans calling you a prick and a shit footballer in the stadium. They've now got that permanently 24/7. So toxicity is definitely part of the new modern football culture. I wish it wasn't, but it is, and that's what happens when you've got the internet. But it's not it's not the reason for Manchester United's weak mentality. As I said, I think this, I can't put my finger on it. I really can't put my finger on it. And maybe I need to try and speak to a sports psychologist about this, because there has to be someone who can explain this in a bit in layman terms, because it feels like I need to understand it. If I don't understand it, maybe you don't understand it either. Shashank, you're saying, hi, Sam, I agree with you. There's been significant improvement since Ole. I feel Ralf is taking it one step at a time. Defense was horrible under Ole, and Ralf fixed that first. He did fix that first. And there's no doubt that our defending has improved, right? Ish. And then you look at Harry Maguire and you go, ugh. And there's no doubt that our midfield control has improved. And there's no doubt that our attacking flow has improved. But we just can't seem to piece it all together. If one thing's good, one thing's shit. If other thing's good, the other thing's shit. There's not like a true balance inside that team yet. But there was against West Ham. Again, this let me reverse it and go back into frustration mode again. It was there a few weeks ago against West Ham. What is the difference then between then and now? It has to be up there. It is up there. Let me go down into the comments and read some few of these out. Weak mentality needs to be fixed, says Pritam. The absolute first line of action is to bench Maguire and gradually phase him out of the team. Sancho, Pogba and Delo did well. Some bad crosses, but at least tried. As I said, yeah, I can't remember who it was that said that Delo had a really bad game yesterday. I don't think he did at all. I really don't think he did. Phil Foster saying, only if you're a toxic fan. Yeah, but Phil, the modern day fans that are growing up now, there's a lot of toxicity online. It's that generation, right? The younger generation. I remember everyone. I'm not sure everybody did, but everyone got bullied a bit at school. It was kind of part of school. I went to an all-boys school, so maybe it was 10 times worse. But that sort of existed in school. But now it exists everywhere. You can get a DM on Instagram. You can get a DM on Twitter. You can get tagged in a post. You can get called, whatever the fuck you want, 24/7. There's a constant fear of hate that happens and exists online. And it's dangerous. It's really dangerous. And it's part of this football game. I don't know, man. I don't know. I really don't know what to say anymore. There's no like massively positive video and positive approach that I could sort of come at me. And I'm not gonna title a video saying like United's season is done. United are out of the top 4 race, because that, quite simply put, is an absolutely outrageous statement when Manchester United right now are 1 point off 4th spot. Now, of course, West Ham have got a game in hand on us. They could be 4 points clear. Spurs have got 3 games in hand on us. They could be 6 points clear if they win those. Arsenal have got 2 games in hand on us. They could be 3 points clear if they win all their games in hand. But to try and say that Manchester United's top 4 chase and top 4 race is over is just an absolutely outrageous statement. at this point with us in that position at the table. You're just lying, and it's just way over exaggerating the point. But it's also a moot point to have that argument if United simply aren't going to fix up. You can't be dropping points to Burnley, bottom of the league Burnley, and expecting to finish inside the top 4. But also, if we play like we did in that first 45 against Burnley and find that level of consistency, then top 4 is ours. Absolutely ours. Remember when Ole was grinding 2-1s and 1-0, says Jibak, and some fans were cribbing that they'd rather have draws if we played our opponents out the park. It's but look, Jibak, that's the weird thing about the human psyche, is that you want what you don't have. If you've got the results but not the performances, then you're going to be catting for the performances. But then if you've got all those performances and you got the results, you'd be like, I don't really care what it is. I don't care if we play like Mourinho style, but we just get 1-0 wins. We just need to win. Humans have an incredible ability to permanently be pissed off no matter what is happening because there is something that they're missing out on. It's weird. It's just part of the human psyche. Nick, you're saying, considering which teams we played and still have to play, I'd say our top 4 race is over. Now, that's fair enough. And when it comes to March, look, right, when it comes to March and these March fixtures, wow, we were. That's what I will say to that. What we got coming up, because I know it's absolutely sticky. Now, look at this. Kicking off, like we've got Brighton and Leeds. Southampton, Brighton and Leeds. Let's start with Leeds away, eh? We've got Leeds away on the 20th of Feb, Atletico away on the 23rd of Feb, Watford at home, and then we have City away. We have Spurs at home. We have Atletico Madrid at home. We have Liverpool away. We have Leicester at home. We have Everton away. Woo! That is a horrendous little run of fixtures. And that's where I think fair enough if you think about it. But on paper right now, there's absolutely no way in hell that our top 4 race is over. And it comes down to whether or not we switch up. If we don't, it is game, set, and match. But the quality I've been seeing in the last couple of games, I know we haven't got the results, but it's whether or not we can do that and take it forward. And if we do take it forward, then we've got chances in all those games. Maybe not against City and Liverpool away, but we do have chances, right? That's what I think. Daniela here, you're saying, man, you're not out of the top 4 race. I said this as a West Ham fan. We've got all the games. We're going to drop points. The fact the top 8 teams play each of at least 5 to 4 games. I don't really understand that whole comment there. But Paula, I did see that. Did you spot Albert the Kit Man sitting beside Fergie last night? Paula, I did. And if you obviously did, everybody. I spoke to David Lyons, and David Lyons, one of his biggest sources for the book that he wrote, that one right there, was Albert Morgan. So it was cool to see Albert there. I've met Albert. I can't remember what. I went to a hospitality game at Old Trafford. Can't remember who it was. But I was having a long chat with Albert, and he's a funny dude, man. He's a really easy person to speak to. You can have like a proper half an hour chat with Albert Morgan, and time would just fly by. Very comfortable individual to sort of sit and just have a drink and a chat with. But yeah, I saw that last night. It was pretty cool. Focus on the Champions League, says Ben. Well, let's see what goes on against Atletico Madrid. Jeez, mate, if we do that against Atletico Madrid last night, surely we're going to get steamrolled. That run of fixture says, and 6 points maximum, maybe concede 20 goals. But we've not been conceded that much recently. I would say our defense is sure, and I'll tell you what, who has shored up. And I think that we may as well move on to this talking point now, right? Because Rafael Varane has set the bar now, hasn't he? We've seen so many defenders come through in the last few years, from Phil Jones to Chris Smalling to Marcus Rojo to Daley Blind to Harry Maguire to Eric Bailly to Victor Lindelof. So many defenders have come through this club, and so many defenders just have not worked out at this club. And Rafael Varane, I'm not just talking about last night, but we're seeing a nice steady growth from him in the last few games. Rafael Varane has really set the bar of what we should expect to see from a centre-back at Manchester United. He set the bar of what the ultimate centre-back should be at Manchester United. But right now, Rafael Varane is setting the bar of what we should be expecting. And that is why, for me, when you're seeing what's happening alongside him with Harry Maguire, it's just unforgivable now. Harry Maguire, after the game, coming out and saying this. Maguire, we have to see it out better, not concede a goal in that moment. Bro, where is the self-awareness in that statement? Jeez. It was your fault. You overcommitted, lunged in, missed the ball, were overcommitted. Then you were running through treacle, coming back to try and win the ball back, but you were 3 yards behind. David De Gea, could he have come off his line quicker? Yes, of course he could. Will David De Gea come off his line quicker? No. That is not who David De Gea is. That is not who David De Gea has ever been. And that is not who David De Gea will grow into now. He is not that sort of goalkeeper. So let's not try and pull up trees and try and cover for Harry Maguire's mistakes because De Gea didn't run off his line. He hasn't run off his line the entire time and he's still won goal. Still won our Player of the Year 3 times. Harry Maguire, as I said, it mainly for me, it's because of what Raphael Varane is doing. And I think it's now a fair comparison. Just Harry Maguire is the captain of Manchester United, man. Harry Maguire is somebody who has to be held to a different standard and to a different level of accountability. That's what wearing the armband does to you. That's what wearing number 7 will do to you at Manchester United. There's extra shirt numbers and there's extra armbands that will give you extra pressures on your performances, extra scrutiny on your performances. And let's be honest, right? This is a man, Harry Maguire, who has been supported and defended by the club. Remember what kicked off in Mykonos? He could have been dropped for that. He could have been kicked straight out. He could have got the armband taken off. No, what happened? Ole Gunnar Solskjaer put his arm around his shoulder and said, he's my captain. I'm going to stick by him. And that was Solskjaer's decision and his way of dealing with it. Were we rewarded with a new lease of life under Harry Maguire? No, he just slipped back into his averageness, right? Nick has a fair point here saying Shaw played Rodriguez on. Yeah, that's a fair point there. That you are right. Shaw was probably about 3 yards deeper, I think, than Harry Maguire. But when it comes to Harry Maguire, I've stayed extremely reserved on him. I've stayed extremely reserved. But I think what we're looking at now is we're looking at Harry Maguire is going to tread the same path that Aaron Wan-Bissaka has at Manchester United under Ralf Rangnick. That's the way I see it happening. Aaron Wan-Bissaka has been phased out by Ralf simply because he's not good enough for what he wants, right? And I think Maguire's going to follow. I don't really see how Maguire doesn't befall the same fate. Not with Victor Lindelof and Varane both playing well at this club at the moment. Maguire is third choice as our captain. I don't really look. Maybe right. Maybe the captain's armband is the heavy. The heavy burden that Maguire doesn't want to actually admit that is too heavy for him. But maybe if you take it away from him, it'll improve him. It's a bit like Antonio Valencia, right? When he got the number 7 shirt, he had the self-awareness and he didn't put his pride first. He said, look, I don't want to wear the number 7 shirt. It's too much for me. Can I have my 25 back? He got the 25 back. What happened? Valencia's performances massively improved. Maybe we've got to do if Maguire's he's gonna let his pride get in the way of what will be a correct decision, then the armband should be taken away from him. Just let Harry Maguire go back to being, I don't know. Because Harry Maguire, look, I remember in his first year, I think he got overly criticised. I thought he was a better defender than most people gave him credit for. And I've said this before, Maguire is better inside a team that is dominating the ball. When it comes to actually a team that you need to rely on that defense to be really on point the entire game, is different. It's different. Robbo, what are you saying here, Downey, buddy? You're saying wouldn't be surprised if we actually get results in that hard run, especially if we continue to play well. It's the smaller teams we struggle against. It's always the smaller teams we struggle against, Robbo, because they always sit deeper and they force United to be more clinical and play with a higher tempo in the passing. When you're playing against better teams that leave spaces in behind, United fly through the transitions. That's when you get the best out of Pogba, the best out of Bruno, the best out of Rashford and Sancho, and United can play with fluidity and pace going forward. When you need to rely on somebody in the middle to sort of break that down, it's a bit different. So I wouldn't be surprised if we did put a good run of results together there. But for us to repeat the pattern after Middlesbrough, that sucked. That really, really sucked. What a huge joke, says Lee. Maguire is. We want Lindelof with Varane, says Kachinga, because Maguire's too slow in terms of his judgment. Downgrade Maguire to the reserves. Just sell Maguire. Does David get the armband? Lots and lots of questions firing in here. What I would say now, before I move on, ladies and gents, please consider dropping a like on the video. And if you're new here, subscribe to United People's TV. I have on YouTube, I've switched the chat to subscribers only, not members only, but subscribers only, because the comments were not starting to get out of hand, but yeah, they were starting to get a little bit out of hand. So that's why I've reserved it there. I won't always do it subscribers only, but again, I want to give you, the community, the chance to make this your interactive show, whether that's as a subscriber or on Facebook, or that's as you as a member or on Facebook. I want your comments to be read out first. So that's why I've switched it to subscribers only. It's my way of making it interactive, but your interactive community. Alake, you're saying, give me Varane and buy as essential defensive partners for the rest of the season. If they get injured, Lindelof and Jones can sub them. Maguire should play with the under-18s. Don't sit on the fence or anything there, my friend. For me, I like Lindelof and Varane. Lindelof and Varane. Both really good inside with possession, with the ball at their feet. I'd be happier if it was Lindelof and Varane, with Baye and Maguire as the two backups. Gary, you're saying, when does a drop in form become a permanent loss of ability? Maguire's been shocking since the summer. That's an extremely good comment there, Gary, and it's an extremely good question, because Luke Shaw was wrapped up inside that, wasn't he? Luke Shaw and Harry Maguire both came back from Euro 2020 like in stinking form, absolutely reeking out the pitch. Luke Shaw was very good last night, first half. Luke Shaw's had a couple of those performances. Maguire, you're right. Do you know, Maguire against West Ham? Was it West Ham? I think it was. Again, that was a game where Manchester, trust me, Maguire's crapness here is being exacerbated by Manchester United's inability to control a football game. But if we're not going to control a football game, and that's still really going to continue, then you can't play Maguire in it. Maguire would be good at Manchester United as a centre-back if we were just like, if we played like City. I think if Maguire went to City, I think he'd probably be a very decent defender, because they control the ball. They're dominant. He doesn't have to worry too much. He doesn't have to track back too much. He doesn't have to slip into that truck mode too much. And you can actually get a bit more confidence out of Harry Maguire. Let me go and read a few more of your comments. Matthew, we play Phil Jones and everyone agreed he was better than Maguire. Next game, Maguire is back. It's because he's captain, right? I suppose. And this is, I suppose, down to Ralf, because Ralf showed by not starting Cristiano Ronaldo against Burnley that no name's too big to be dropped. Now, you might argue, Sam, Ronaldo played 120 minutes against Middlesbrough. Of course, he was never going to play the game. Well, he was fit enough to come on. But again, he looked a little bit, don't know, not sharp. Don't know what's a fair way to describe him. But Harry Maguire, he might be captain of Manchester United, but Ralf, it's on you, my friend. Now, maybe for this game against Southampton, I think now's the time to make a statement with Maguire. Lindelof's going to hopefully be fit and available for selection. Eric Bailly, I think he's going to be getting over his ankle problem. And Phil Jones, he played against Middlesbrough, so he's fit and available. You've got 3 centre-backs there. Make your choice. You can choose whoever you want. That's your decision. But if Ronaldo can be dropped, then so can Harry Maguire. And the way he's playing at the moment, he cannot be inside that team. And that's an excellent comment there. A team is only as strong as the weakest link. And Maguire is the weak link at the moment. Now, that's something I really will not disagree with there, my friend, because Maguire is the weak link. Maguire's not the only problem. No one's going to say that. No one's going to even suggest that. But mate, I don't know what is with this United team, eh? Look, we go back to what Ralf said last night. I've just picked out a couple of his quotes. He said, Rangnick on the need for consistency. He says, yes, but under the normal circumstances, we should have been 2 or 3-0 up at half time. It should have been more than 1-0. Today, we scored 3 goals. I cannot blame the team for not scoring. No, you can't. United were massively unlucky and massively unfortunate to not go in at half time, comfortable, cruising, and game, set, and match. As I said, you can argue all day about that delivery from Bruno onto Varane's head, whether or not that should have been disallowed. But the second one, that's just an outrageous decision. It should easily have been 2-0 at that point. And if that had happened, it would have been cruising. I put United -3. I had a little $5 bet on United -3 last night. That's how confident I was. And I had every reason to be confident. The confidence wasn't misplaced. But when the luck goes against you, and the decisions go against you, the luck and the decisions go against you. But you can't use that as an excuse for not winning a football game. Toya, you sent in a super chat there, my friend, but you haven't sent any message in. So try and fire in another. There you go. I see it here. Do you think the media will slowly make Rangnick the scapegoat because it's easier to blame than the real problems at United? Example, the club mentality. I don't think the media can really do that, if I'm being honest, because of how we're playing. It's been some really, really good football. We've had like 50 shots, I believe, in the last 2 games. 50, 5-0, not 5-0 shots. And we've got 2-1 all draws. The football we're playing, the formation he's got them set up in, everything, Rangnick, in my opinion, is doing correctly. Now, you can argue about his substitutions yesterday. Cool. If you want to go into that, you can go into that. Should he have taken, put Lingard on and then moved Pogba into a number 6 position? Maybe, maybe not. I probably wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have taken Pogba away from being where Pogba is great, and that's in the opposition's half. But if McTominay had to come off, would you put Matic on there instead? As I said, there's arguments you could have about that, but it's a moot point. There is no point us getting deep diving into the problems with Ralf Rangnick's substitutions when there's such. It's all about root cause analysis. Us arguing the toss over that isn't going to solve our problems. Not when the mentality is just that overarching. It's like Stranger Things. It's like going into the upside down. That big monster in the upside down is just this huge shadow that hangs over Manchester United. And you're watching it as a fan, even though you're 1-0 up and you're dominating, you're like, please get a second. Please get a second. Please get a second. Just get a second goal. Just get rid of this niggle at the back of my mind. Just get rid of it. And you don't. You're going to 1-0 at half time. You're like, don't come out second half weak. Go out strong. Come out strong. Come out confident. Come out. And I'll cut. You're like, really? You're doing it again. You're doing it again. And I'm sure we'll do it against Southampton on Saturday as well. It's like, look, Rangnick was speaking about it after the game. Said in the second half, we were not aggressive enough. It was clear they would come out and be aggressive. It was so clear. The way we allowed them to score, we didn't defend the whole situation. Look, man, it was so clear. It was so clear and so obvious that was going to happen. A couple of you are asking for the link to come and join in. As always, look, there you go. I should fire that in. That is the link in there. If anybody wants to jump on screen, have a quick chat, fire in. I think sometimes I'm getting a little bit too caught up in the conversations that we have, so I might make it a little bit more quick fire. Question from you and an answer from me. Wolves F1 firing in a super sticker, I think. Wolves, can you, rather than that, can you fire in Ruben Neves? I like him. Who else I want? Ruben Neves. Oh, that's right. I'm not greedy. Ruben Neves. If you can just leave Ruben Neves in here next time, that'll be fine. Christian saying, give the captaincy to Bruno. He deserves it. Right, ladies and gents, in the comments, fire it in now. Who do you want to be Manchester United's captain? Fire in the name in the comments. I'll see which one's the most popular choice in the comments. But I don't think it can be Harry Maguire anymore. A captain has to be somebody that all the players, when shit hits the fan, so the captain's supposed to be the person who everybody can look at and go, what do we do? What do we need to do? What do we need to change? It's supposed to be the captain who can steer that ship, and he just isn't. Maguire isn't doing that in any way, shape, or form, and it's part of the problem, right? It's part of the massive problem. I think that's Low, and I see there, Lou, firing in a super chat. Thank you very much, buddy. You didn't say anything there though, so you need to fire something else in so I can just read your comment out. And you're saying De Gea should be captain. Klein, you're saying De Gea. Drop Maguire indefinitely. Reggie, you're saying Shaw or Rashford. That's rogue. Bruno says Anthony. De Gea, Varane. I don't think you can give it to Varane. As much as I like Varane and what Varane's doing, let's not repeat the mistakes and give a player the captaincy as soon as he comes to the club. That's odd. A couple of you saying Bruno. Loads of you saying Bruno. Absolutely tons of you saying Bruno. Be honest, I can't really disagree with Bruno. I don't think you can look past Bruno, can you? Can you? Maybe you can. I don't think you can, though. But look, there's a couple of you waiting in the comments. Salim and Assad. Salim, I'll bring you in first, my friend. It's been a long time since we had a chat, I think. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How about you?
Oh, mate, I love the headset. Looking beautiful. How you
Thank
doing
you.
this morning? Well, I know how you're doing, but talk to me.
I'm fed up, upset. Same story, same problem, same symptoms. I don't know. No words anymore.
So,
I mean,
I think that's the problem we've all got now, isn't it? It's like, what else are you supposed to say that you haven't already said after Middlesbrough, that you haven't already said after on like more than one occasion this season? Yet the same issues are still there, right?
Yes, but at that moment, it's on the player. They need to show up, because in second half when we concede the goal, we had more players than Burnley. We had 5 players.
Yeah.
They were 2. And that, what his name, Vorgsot, I don't know his name.
Weghorst.
He's not the most agile player in the Premier League. And one turn, he took off 2 players.
Yeah, he did.
And he was watching the game. He saw Varane. So get in the line with your center back is the first thing you learn when you're a defender at the young age. Follow your center back.
Yep, it's true. But what's you know,
Even
if
your
what are you saying?
Yes,
I was going to say, look,
I said.
what's
I
your
said
what's
even
your
if
opinion
your
of,
attacker or
how do you
Sorry.
switch it then? Like we could focus on all the problems because there's enough problems to focus on. But you know, if you're Ralf Rangnick, what are you doing now to change it for this Southampton game?
I mean, there is serious problem in second half. Players that not doing enough.
Yeah,
Just you move your feet. Rodriguez is offside. I mean, if I arrive, I don't know. First off, I will not play Maguire sooner again, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Look,
I mean,
Salim,
honestly,
I think you should just stop watching football. It's just like enjoy yourself out there. Like just go do some sunbathing. I don't know, go for a walk. I don't know, go for a bike ride. I think football's serving you very well, my friend.
yes. I mean, seriously, it's become iconic. So you are watching the game. We are controlling the game first half, but it's hanging there. You know it's coming. It's coming.
Yeah. Basically, your camera angle sums up Manchester United right now. It's just like United are just hiding in the corner. They don't want to go. They don't want to be nice and central. They don't want to be on the
No,
pitch. They want to hide away a little bit.
I'm wearing the shirt. It's shirt work. I don't know. I don't want to be on YouTube with work shirt.
Hey, look, Salim, lovely to talk to you again, my friend. But I hope next time
Yes,
we've got
me too.
bit of a happier chat, eh? But it's good to see you. Salim, one of the OGs. What a guy. What a guy. But look, but Salim kind of sums it all up, isn't it, right now? That's what I'm saying. I joke about it, but it's literally like a therapy room this morning. Asan, I can see you there waiting. Millux, there's a couple of you. I'll bring you all on. Don't worry about that. But what else we got? What were the other talking points I had up here? Oh yeah, that one. See, this was me yesterday. I did it in a really polite way. I was just like, you know what? I'm not sure about you, but I'm losing patience with Harry Maguire, and that's where I'm at. And I'll be honest, it got well, look at that. It got a serious amount of interaction because everybody were like, "What do you mean you're starting to lose patience with him?" Now, I'm not really someone that's ever gonna come out with the guns firing. I did it once to Anthony Martial. I probably went a little bit too early on him, but lo and behold, I was right. But Harry Maguire, Manchester United, doesn't really matter where you look. There's not many positives. Jadon Sancho, that really annoyed me about that last night. Jadon Sancho looked wonderful. Jadon Sancho running with the ball like he did at Dortmund. You were like, oh man, this looks great. But it meant nothing. It meant absolutely nothing. Asan, I'll bring you on here, my friend. Looks like a new face, I believe. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, dude. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, I think. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. We talked on Twitter a few times.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. But it's just the same old, isn't it? Same old.
Yeah, it is.
It's when they're defining sanity, it's doing the same stupidness again and again, and I think we're insane.
Well, yeah, that's one way to describe us. But like I was asking Salim there, like if you're Ralf Rangnick going into training ground this morning, you know what are you telling the players to do? How do you wave your magic wand? How do you change this United team?
It's a tough one. I don't know. Are some of the players taking their place at United for granted? Are they getting a bit big-headed, thinking, "Hey, I'm the big I am. I've made it. I'm a United player." Because to be honest, the mentality is just terrible. I mean, Maguire for England, he's a totally different player. For United, he's just. I mean, I could defend better than that. I mean, that's just terrible, and it's just consistent. I don't know. Maybe it's worth Ralf dipping into the youth team and saying, "Okay, look, come and embarrass the big boys. Show them what you can do." Because right now, January's gone. We can't dip into the transfer market to get even a loan signing to shake things up. It's just terrible. And like you had with your the interview yesterday with I forgot the guy's name now who came on.
For who?
Oh, yesterday's stream you did. The German guy.
Oh,
Ralf
Guido,
Rangnick.
my boy.
Yeah, Guido. Yeah, Guido. Yeah. I mean, I've been feeling the same thing. You know, if Ralf doesn't get the backing and the support, he'll walk. And the thing that scares me the most is if he walks, we're going to be in a far worse position than we were before he came in.
It's going to be, I don't know, it's going to be probably where we were a few years ago. We've got the opportunity to actually turn a corner if we do this, if we navigate this a little bit correctly.
I mean, on paper, the current run of fixtures should be in our favour to actually build up some momentum. Learn from a few little on-field mistakes and go forward and put a run together, so that when we get into that late March, April tricky set of fixtures, we're on form and we're taking that form forward.
Yeah.
But no, we're just pissing off at the moment really badly, and it's just frustrating to watch, making the same mistakes again and again. Oh God! I mean, there were some positives. I mean, even the Middlesbrough game, you know, it's just frustrating that there's so many positives that you could take out. I mean, I don't mind United losing as long as we play well. Yeah, and I think Middlesbrough is one of those games where we just didn't take our chances, and then lo and behold, Middlesbrough had a European Cup final moment where they did their thing, you know.
Yeah.
But there's definitely positives to take. I mean, Sancho yesterday, Pogba played really well. Delo in patches played really well. Varane was Rolls Royce Varane. I just felt so bad that his header got disallowed. Again, I just can't see why. I can understand the minutiae of the details of the rules, etc., but perfectly good header. The third goal, again, it just being...
Yeah, I know what you mean.
They're being wankers, mate. Sorry, pardon my language.
I mean, look, as you know by now on United People's TV, you're always free to swear. Well, as long as you don't go crazy. But look, man,
mate.
I think you sum everybody up. You sum up everyone's frustration. We're all just looking at this. I mean, no one really knows what the answer is now, because I don't think you can really say we don't have the quality in the players, because you can see...
That's the worst thing, mate. Look, at the beginning of the season, with the strengthening in depth that we did, we, on paper, should have amounted a challenge for the title, you know, or pushed on from last season. But we've done the U-turn. It's just like, what's going on? Seriously. It's just frustrating. But, you know, hey, the joys of being a current United fan, eh?
Well, that's not the word I'd use there, Hassan. That's not the word I'd use. But look, mate, lovely chat to you. Thanks for coming on. I'm sure we'll tweet. I'm sure I'll speak to you on Twitter again as well. Take it easy.
Peace, mate. Take care.
Take it easy. Hey, look, it's actually quite nice. I'm glad I started this as a little bit of a part of the show, because we've had some sound people on. Hassan there, of course. Salim, he looked a bit sad, but I'll be honest, it's probably because he was at work. I don't blame that. Let's go down here and let's see a few of what your comments are saying down here in the games. I'll be honest, that there's still so many people speaking about Harry Maguire. And it's like Hassan there just touched on. The interview that I did with Guido yesterday, if, you know, sometimes I big up a bit of content, obviously, because it's all my content. It's all top tier. But it was actually a really good interview that I did with Guido yesterday. Properly honest and open chat. Well, I didn't write down one question for that interview. I based my questions on what Guido's responses were, because by doing that, it's harder to do in an interview. You should really go into an interview just with like a prepared set of questions to give you structure to the interview. But I don't know why I didn't do it yesterday, but I didn't. But it also allowed me to sort of steer the conversation how I wanted it to when I was speaking to him. And that's why I think the questions got a little bit better and you got a little bit more insight. And especially to hear that Ralf had an excellent working relationship with Hoffenheim and with Red Bull Leipzig's owners, both at the start, but then fell out of love with Red Bull's owners when he got Red Bull from the 4th tier up the whole way up to being like 5th in the Bundesliga. And then his money got cut and they said, no, we can't afford to take it any further. And he said, what are you doing? I want more. I want success. And that's when they fell out. And that's when he got kicked out of Leipzig. And then that's when Leipzig's freefall started. So honestly, there's going to be a lot of negativity and a lot of anger towards everything that happened yesterday. But if you can take 20 minutes out, listen to that over lunch, it's quite an interesting chat, I would say. Milux, I'll bring you in now, my friend. You've been sitting there waiting patiently, and then we'll wrap it up after this one. What have you got to say, my friend? Welcome aboard.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, how you doing, man?
I'm very well. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's your question?
Okay, mine is not a question. It's just to encourage United fans that we should trust the process. Yeah, we now know players that shouldn't be part of the team, and obviously the coach is seeing it as well. So it's not that type that you will be frustrated and say, why does he keep using these two people, or why does he keep using these players? This man knows what he's doing. So we should just trust the process. The only frustration you can get, maybe from the board, like players he doesn't want, they force him to use them. Like what just happened during the summer, where he said, I think I can allow him go. Then the player says he wants to go, but somehow the player has to stay, and somehow he had to use the player. So that is just the frustration I can see. But they are learning. We have seen improvements. And why I think second half is always like that, they are still trying to understand. It's a different philosophy. It's not a philosophy they are used to, counter-attacking, counter-pressing rather. It's not a system that this squad is used to. So I think that is just the issue now, that they are trying to understand, trying to, go along with the coach. But the issue, like I said, he should have had at least 2 players who have worked with him, who understand, so that it will not just be on the coach. When you train, during training, you have a player who say, yeah, let's do it this way, let's do it this way. So there are no players like that. It should have been given maybe 2 players who understand, who have played under him, who understand his kind of play, what he wants. Then among players, he will be the one to, because what may happen maybe during training will just be, you say, what is it? When you don't understand, when you're not getting what you want, when it seems it's frustration, the players just get frustrated and say, no, we don't understand this man. We don't understand what he's trying to, to put across. So that is what I think.
It's like you had your speech written and ready. Look, I agree to a certain extent in the idea that I trust Ralf Rangnick and what he's trying to do more than I trust other people. But I think the whole idea of just trusting the process is, maybe we're 10 years into that now. So I'm not sure you can blindly just say, trust the process. But of all the people to be in charge of the process, I've got more trust in Ralf Rangnick to actually do that properly compared to what we've had before. So that, in that sense, I would completely agree with you. So, mate, it's nice to chat to you this morning, Milux. Thank you very much for calling in, buddy. Oh, looks like he's gone anyway. Look at that for timing. Hey, look, thank you very much, everybody, for calling in. Milix, thank you very much for your question. United are great and crap at the same time. It's really annoying, isn't it? Really, really annoying. Matt, I'll wrap it up for you because John and you need to go, my friends. But look, thank you very much, everyone, for joining in this morning. Obviously, it's a bit of a quieter stream. It's a bit more muted. Everyone's a bit frustrated, a bit lackadaisical. Lackadaisical, that's definitely the wrong word to use. But make sure you check out my video. I'm going to record straight after this. I'm going to go in depth on Harry Maguire. As I said, that's why I kind of reserved the Harry Maguire conversation a bit during this video because, yeah, I'm going to do it in the next one. But thank you very much, everyone, for joining in. Thank you all for your super chats, all for your support of the channel. Let's make it as interactive as possible as we do every day. Make sure you drop a like on the video. Take it easy. Go and watch, as I said, though, go and watch that interview with Guido. Legitimately great, if I can say so myself.